The Rams are coming off back-to-back 10-win seasons in which they made the playoffs each time. But this 2025 squad will look a little different than the one that lost in the divisional round to the Eagles. Remember, they actually had a shot to win late in Philly in that single-digit loss. GM Les Snead on his favorite trade ever while joining the With the First Pick podcast crew. Remember, LA didn't even have a first-round pick for a good while during his tenure.
The first one, and that would be when we had the 2 pick in St. Louis and we dropped back. I call it the RG3 trade. Washington moved up to take RG3. Then we continued to trade back. But to be a rookie GM and be a part of pulling that off, that does show you, Ryan and Rand, that there is actually a lot of luck in this, because I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah, he's reinforcing the trade that the Washington then Redskins moved up, and they got, what, 3 first-round picks, set them up pretty well before he kind of went on that other run where he didn't have a first-round pick. We welcome back Leger Douzable to talk about the Rams here. And when we get to L.A., what's the expectation for this team, given that they brought back Matthew Stafford and they're trying to make yet another run of the postseason?
Yeah, without a doubt, it's to win the division and make a run in the playoffs. And to your point, you alluded to it perfectly, Tommy. They were 2 Jalen Carter pressures away from essentially beating the Philadelphia Eagles and getting to the NFC Championship game. People were wondering, would Matt Stafford retire? There was also trade talks. It seemed like he was most likely about to be traded to another team. They ultimately get him back, restructure his contract, and he proved versus the Philadelphia Eagles in inclement weather that he still has one of the biggest arms in football. So when you look at this team, the expectations are to win the division and make some noise throughout the playoffs.
No Cooper Kupp, but Davante Adams comes in to be a 1-2 punch with Puka Nacua. How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, Davante Adams, even in his 30s, still proved last year with the New York Jets that he can still separate and get open and be a big-time player. Still went over 1,000 yards when you add the yardage between the Raiders and the Jets last year. And I think they actually get an upgrade in regards to bringing Davante Adams and letting Cooper Kupp go. Now, it is hard to say that because it seemed like Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp were always in sync. The no-look passes from the 2021 season when they went on to win that Super Bowl, like they build up that rapport, and that'll be the question mark. How quickly can Davante Adams and Matt Stafford, and you see the accolades right there for Matt Stafford in that Super Bowl year with the Rams. You see him in December, January, February. That's when he plays his best football. But can he get that continuity that he had with Cooper Kupp, with Davante Adams? If he's able to do that, that would be one of the best 1-2 punches in football with Puka Nacua and also Davante Adams.
Let's get to the other side of the ball. The defensive line is got a lot of talent, and they're all young. But you and I were just talking off air that there's a kind of an under-the-radar move that might solidify this position group.
Yeah, they brought in the wily vet Poona Ford from the L.A. Chargers, so he didn't even have to go that far in the same stadium, right? Tommy, this is the guy that's going to help solidify them in the run defense because they struggled at times when you look at that. They're kind of undersized when you look at them up front with Kobe Turner and also Braden Fisk. Now they added Poona Ford to be that nose tackle that can hold on to those double teams, which will free up Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner. We didn't even mention the 2 outside linebackers and Jared Verse, who all he did his rookie year was become a Pro Bowl player and essentially took on like the Reggie Miller role versus the Knicks when he went to the Philadelphia Eagles and said he was going to have a good game and went out and balled versus the Philadelphia Eagles. You see it right there. He won Defensive Rookie of the Year, was a Pro Bowler. Saw Aaron Donald do that as well his rookie year with the Rams. You see the most pressures by a rookie last season. 2 of their draft picks right there, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk. This defense will be led by this young defensive line. And to your point, Tommy, all these guys are like 3 years and under, except for Poona Ford, who adds some veteran presence to that defensive line.
You mentioned the room for improvement, ranked 23rd in the NFL in run defense. So, again, that's the bottom 3 of the league. What would you say to a potential reunion of Jalen Ramsey and the Rams? Would you be a fan, or would it be a fit?
It would definitely be a fit, Tommy, and that's my biggest concern when you look at this Rams team, more specifically the cornerback position. Darius Williams and Akello Witherspoon come back. Both of these guys have been savvy veterans, but they have had games where they haven't been consistent. We saw the Rams make a big trade for Jalen Ramsey when he came to the L.A. Rams, and they went on to win a Super Bowl, and then they traded him to the Miami Dolphins. Well, it seems like Miami is looking to trade him. Why not go back to an old team that you're comfortable with, a team that you won a Super Bowl with, a team where you were a perennial Pro Bowl with? So to me, it makes a lot of sense for Jalen Ramsey to go there. He's comfortable with Sean McVay. They're open to potentially trading for him. I think this could be a win-win, not only for Miami, but also the Rams as well, because as I alluded to, that's my biggest concern, more specifically at their cornerback position in the secondary. I think they need to get better there if they want to make a run to a Super Bowl.
All right, before I let you go here, I got to get your prediction on this team, which, by the way, is the second betting favorite behind the San Francisco 49ers. So, Deuce, do you think they get to at least 10 wins for the third straight year?
I do believe it'll be a trifecta. I do have them going 10-7. I think this will be one of the most competitive divisions in all of football. I know people will talk about the NFC North, but this NFC West, when you look at how the Cardinals are trending in the right direction out there with Jonathan Gannon, you talked about the San Francisco 49ers. If everybody's healthy, they're still going to be a dangerous team, and the odd makers did them favors by giving them the easiest strength of schedule when you're talking about teams that made the playoffs last year. And you talk about the Rams. All Sean McVay does is get to the playoffs. He has a savvy veteran quarterback who plays at a high level in Matthew Stafford. They have a young defensive line that we alluded to earlier that can get after the passer. I think weeks 14 through 17 will tell the story that at Cardinals versus Lions, and that little run right there on the schedule, that can determine whether they win the division or they end up being 10-7 and being a wild card team like they were last year.
Yeah, taking a look at that, you have them splitting against the Niners and the Cardinals, but do have them season sweeping the Seahawks in 2025. Thanks,
Yep.
Deuce. A reminder about the NFL, NBA, NHL, all of it. It's here on CBS Sports HQ. It's all here, and it's all free.